Good morning, people. This is another day. May 26, 2022. Out and prowling. Next day on the job. For us that who have a job. Some of us don't have any jobs, but we still have to survive, and it's good to be on top of the earth. I would love if you would subscribe to this little channel here. We talk different things about society. Some people might find it interesting. And if you do find it interesting, you can like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to talk about the difference between the United States form of government and the Jamaican form of government. So, a lot of people doesn't realize or doesn't know that the United States government have three separate bodies. And they said separate but equal. So in 1776, 4th of July, the American declared their independence from British rule. And in 1787, they write the Constitution. Now the Constitution sets up the government. But during those years, you have 27 amendments to their Constitution. So it's like a change. Whenever time they're trying to make the union perfect union, so they keep changing stuff. But there's nowhere in the world I can think of that have this type of government. They want to be so much not like Britain. So they come up with a totally different system. Right? And there is certain thing enshrined in the Constitution that is not in Jamaican Constitution, nor most of the Constitution. For instance, the Second Amendment, to bear arms. I guess some people interpret it differently than what most American interpret it as. And if you read the Constitution, it's speaking about the militia. For instance, if you have a tyranny government, you can form a militia to defend your country against the government. It didn't speak about individual people going out and buy these type of rifles and SMG and SLR that they have. No. But that's how they set up their system. And when you go to Rome, you got to do like the Romans. But yeah, they have three different parts of government. Separate but equal. You have the executive, which is the president. The judiciary, which is the Supreme Court. And the legislative, which is Congress. So Congress also have two parts. One part of Congress, which is the Senate, they call that equal representative, meaning that you have 50 states. So you have 100 senators. Each senators represent one state. 2 senators represent one state. Doesn't matter if it's a state is big like California or it is small like Connecticut or Rhode Island. Each get 2 senators. But they also have the House, which is a little different. They serve for 2 years. Now the Senate serve for 6 years. But the House serve for 2 years. Now, the amount of congressmen or women depends on how much people is in your state. For instance, California might have 30 million people. They would get a large amount of House representative. We call them congressmen, congresspeople. But a state like Rhode Island might just get 5 or 10 because they are much less populated. So the more popular the state is, the more representative you get in Congress. But you still get 2 senators. So that is the House and the Senate that make up one part of the government. Then you have the judiciary, which make up a second part of the government. They're responsible for the courts. From the Supreme Court right down to the appellate court to the small district court. Right? All of that they come under the Supreme Court, which is the second part of government. And the third part, which a lot of people, I guess, knows about more because it is more visual, is the executive branch, which is the president. Now, the president can do some stuff, but the states do more stuff, meaning that the president can form an army, he can print money, he take care of the borders, they run foreign affairs and stuff like that. But the states is responsible for like schooling and education, you know, land use, security of their state like police, fire brigade, and so on and so forth. So there's different state do different stuff, federal do different stuff. But the minor party, which you would call it, if you have less senators than the other party, you are the minor party. If you have less House representative, you are the minor party. For instance, the House have 435 voting members. So the one who have the most voting members, they are the leading party. Just like the Senate have 100 voting members. If you have 51 and the next party have 49, here's the minority party. So the Senate make laws. Right? When the Senate make laws, well, the House, the laws start drawn up in the House first. Then it go to the Senate. Senate pass it. Sometimes they send it back to the House and reconcile the bill. Now the president sign bills into the law. So the president of the United States doesn't make laws. He sign bill into law when it is made by the Congress, because the Congress is the legislative branch. He can also veto it. But when the president veto a bill that comes before him, it can be override by 2/3 majority. Right? So if the president don't decide to sign that bill, or it doesn't feel like that bill in his best interest or in the country's best interest, he can veto that bill. But if the Congress, which is the House and the Senate, feel like this was the right bill for them, they can override the president's veto. The Supreme Court have nothing to do with, the courts have nothing to do with that at the moment. But when a bill is passed and is signed into law by the federal government, the president, it becomes law. But people can find a problem with that bill. Say, for instance, that bill trample on your individual rights. You can take it to the courts. And the courts reviews laws and make sure that those laws are within the Constitution. Because the Constitution sets up the government. The government is built around the Constitution. It's like a coal scale. You put one stick in the ground and then you build stick around it to make that whole coal burning effort work. So that's how the Constitution is set up. The Constitution is there and the government is built around the Constitution. But the Supreme Court is the guardian of the Constitution. Right? And there is certain things that was written in the Constitution, like free speech, religion, freedom of speech, freedom of religion. Right? All those things is enshrined in the Constitution. And they also said guns is enshrined in the Constitution. If you can interpret that whatever way you want, but the Second Amendment said give people in the United States the right to bear arms. So this criminal that killed those kids in Texas, he just reached 18. So he was able to go out and buy guns. Now, America is a place that you can just go in somebody's yard and see a gun lying in a car or anywhere. They are not afraid of guns. Most people have guns in America, especially those states like Texas and Arkansas and Kentucky and all those states, because they do a lot of hunting also. There's always something out there to shoot. And if you live in the rural areas, you will be able to see people with guns all the time. But these guns are where they are selling now on the streets are not for hunting. Because you don't hunt on the street unless you're hunting human beings. You see a man on the street with a M16 or AK-47 or a submachine gun in a parking lot or somewhere. He's hunting human beings. You know, but that's how their system are set up. Our system in Jamaica is a little different because the Prime Minister it is not a three-part government. It's a one-part government. The ruling party, the majority rules. And even though you can have a 2/3 majority and overturn stuff, it is not as easy like the United States. So, you know, the Prime Minister of Jamaica have more power in Jamaica than the US President has in the United States. Meaning the Prime Minister of Jamaica can do more things to harm the country or to help the country than the US President. Because if the US President doesn't have the Supreme Court on his side and doesn't have Congress on his side, he's a lame duck. Joe Biden right there now. If the Democrat lose the House and the Senate, he's a lame duck. He hardly can get anything done. But you wouldn't find that in Jamaica. Because if you have the Prime Minister being a PMP or a Labourite, his party is also a PMP or Labourite. You can't have the Jamaican Prime Minister is a PMP and the member of parliament is separate. No, it doesn't work like that. Holiness, the Prime Minister, Andrew Holiness, his party is in power because is the president or the Prime Minister. If he loses the election, then his whole party is out. You will find MPs still win their seat, but their party lost. But that's not so in the US government. The president can win his presidency and lose the House and the Senate. So he can't do much at that stage. Especially at home. He have to deal with mostly like foreign affairs and that time because The president responsible for foreign affairs, Secretary of State and so on, responsible for foreign affairs. That's not the states. But the Congress, the thing that the president might be cannot do where foreign affairs is concerned, the president cannot declare war. So even if there is a war brewing, it is the Congress who declares war. But like doing other international affairs, the president can still do that. So that's the difference. In Jamaica, the prime minister is the boss, the head cook and bottle washer. If he wants to change the law, he can change the law. He doesn't need the House and the Senate to do that. He can change it by himself. Well, not by himself, with his party, if they have at least 2/3 majority. Or if they don't have 2/3 majority, they will have the help of the opposition party. It depends on what they want to change. Well, this is it for me this morning. Have a good day. If you find what I'm saying interesting, could you please like, share and subscribe. Big up yourself.